everybody, welcome back to our channel and welcome to the last in a series of 5 videos that I have done this month in October, going around where I live in Charlotte, North Carolina and showing some really cool old historic cemeteries around town. In today's video, we are actually in the city of Concord, which is about 30 miles sort of northeast of Charlotte. But this cemetery, even though it's not in Charlotte, was actually the one that inspired me to do this series. This cemetery is in the middle of a shopping mall here in Concord, which I guess technically the shopping mall was built around the cemetery, and I've always been fascinated by it ever since I was a little girl. We used to come here shopping for my dresses, for Sunday school, for recitals and things, and I was always so creeped out by this cemetery, and I didn't understand why the mall didn't just erase it. But now that I'm an adult and I can appreciate history, and I'm so glad that they didn't do something like that, I want to go show this cemetery to you and tell you everything that I can learn about it online. Let's go check out a really odd cemetery located in the middle of a shopping mall.
Like I said, I have known about this cemetery my whole life, going back to when I was just a small child and my parents would bring me to this mall to shop for new clothes and shoes or outfits for upcoming recitals. There used to be a restaurant here called K&W that my whole family enjoyed going to because of the cafeteria-style buffet where everyone could find something they wanted to eat. I was always aware of this cemetery, and I wondered why in the world anyone would choose to bury their loved ones in the middle of a shopping mall parking lot. But as a kid, it never dawned on me that the cemetery was actually here before the mall. It was always kind of a creepy thing to me, and I tried not to be afraid of whatever was in the cemetery. Looking back on it now, that was such a silly way to feel, and as an adult, I'm really curious about this cemetery and so glad that we have a chance to explore it today. This is officially known as the Meisenheimer Family Cemetery, and it dates back to 1821, so long before there was ever a shopping mall here. As it turns out, this mall was built on land that was originally given to a Mr. Private Jacob Meisenheimer in the 18th century for his service to the state of North Carolina in the American Revolutionary War. At that time in American history, North Carolina did not have the physical cash to pay its soldiers and veterans, so instead, those who had served in the war were promised land in return for their services. In doing research for this video, I found a lot of information online about not only Mr. Meisenheimer, but also his father, Mr. Johann Jacob Meisenheimer, and his life of service in the pre-colonial United States. I find this whole family very interesting because lately I have become really fascinated by Revolutionary War era history in North Carolina. All of my sources are linked below if you would like to check them out and learn more. Mr. Jacob Meisenheimer was probably born in 1751 or 1752, the son of Johann Jacob Meisenheimer and Anna Margaretha Reiter. He was descended from German immigrants who had originally settled in Pennsylvania. By the 1770s, when the United States was in conflict with the United Kingdom, the Meisenheimer family relocated from Pennsylvania to North Carolina for reasons unknown, possibly in hopes of safety from the conflict, or possibly by motivation of obtaining land for cheap. In 1779, Mr. Jacob Meisenheimer took part in a military operation in which he went down to Georgia and engaged in the Battle of Briar Creek, which was fought on March 3, 1779, near the confluence of Briar Creek with the Savannah River in eastern Georgia. The Patriot force, consisting principally of militia from North Carolina and Georgia, was caught off guard and suffered significant casualties. Mr. Meisenheimer was 78 years old when he died in 1821, and he is officially recorded as a Revolutionary War militia soldier in the Mecklenburg County Militia in the Salisbury District of North Carolina. Accordingly, he was granted the VA marker, which was installed at his church, the St. John's Lutheran Church Cemetery in Concord, North Carolina. In the 20th century, much of the Meisenheimer land was sold off, and the family was pressured by the developers of the shopping mall to sell them the remaining plot of land that included the family cemetery. The family eventually agreed to sell the land, but with the caveat that the cemetery be preserved. That particular piece of land was always intended to be passed down in the family and never sold, and the family cherishes it to this day. If what I'm reading and understanding from the links I've provided below is correct, it seems that Mr. Misenheimer was originally laid to rest at his church in Concord, but was moved to the family cemetery in recent years in a ceremony that was covered by our local Spectrum News. This cemetery has 22 known graves, from infants to seniors, all of them members of the Misenheimer family. It's also possible that there are other people resting here in peace in unmarked plots. This cemetery is closed to the public.
Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed going online and learning as much as I could about this cemetery. I've known about it almost my entire life, and I've always been curious, but now I'm just finally getting around to learning as much as there is to know about this little cemetery, which is in the middle of a shopping mall. I hope you've enjoyed this series, and I hope you enjoy our October content. I'll see you guys another day in another video. Bye everybody.